So, when doing astrophotography, you also have to be very serious about your post-processing and how you bring out the data in your images. So, in order to create an image like this, you kind of need to know what you're doing. So, this video is just a post-processing video. I'm going to show you how I took this image, how I created it from my raw data using my monochrome camera, and I will explain a little bit about what we're looking at, and then we will dive into the computer and yeah, make this image. I have a monochrome camera. That means that I can target a specific wavelength at a time, and photographing gas and nebula out in the universe, I kind of need three wavelengths or three colors if you want. Each filter gives me the ability to photograph one specific color. It's like a neon gas or something. Some gas glow in orange, some gas glow in blue, and some gases glow in red. And in universe you have gases in infrared and in the teal, green, blue area, a lot of them at least. Using narrowband filters, I can basically just target out or single out these specific lights and the colors of the light, and I can photograph them using my camera on the 100% of the sensor. And at the end, I will end up with three different images. They will be in black and white because it's a monochrome camera, and they will show me how much of the gas or the signal I have on every pixel. And then I just bring them out together separately. I bring them out separately and then I put them all together into a color image. And usually I use the Hubble palette, which is the sulfur gas goes into the red channel, the hydrogen gas, which is the very much abundant gas up there, goes into the green channel, and the oxygen gas will go into the blue channel. So the colors will also represent the abundance of that specific gas. And then in the end, I kind of adjust and normalize the colors. I push them towards an area to make them look a little bit better and contrasty towards each other. And I can see a final image, and I can see how the gases interact with each other. Now, this specific image that I'm showing you here is called the Soul Nebula. It's taken with my 1115 TS1115, that is telescope, an 800 millimeter refractor at f7, and it's probably one of my favorite scopes. I think I say that on all of my telescopes at this point, but it's extremely sharp and it's at 800 millimeters, so it's kind of reachy. It reaches out there. It's 700 millimeters, and at the same time, I can see really nice details in the image. I'm going to zoom in on a lot of areas when we do that, and you will see that this nebula is very typical of a nebula. You have your abundance of gases, and then the stars or this gas starts to lump up and create stars at the end. And when these stars start to shine, they're pushing out the gas around them, creating these pillars, or the pillars of creations. Is a lot of yeah, it's a very common concept that a lot of you guys know about, but these pillars are like everywhere in all of the nebulas, and these are like a more concentrated gas. I have another video where I kind of simulate in my kitchen how to create those pillars yourself, how they're created out in the universe. But you get your hydrogen and your sulfur gas being pushed more than the oxygen gas. So the oxygen, the blue areas, will be like in the center along these really young stars that just appeared, and then on the edge of the nebula you will have the more hydrogen and sulfur gas together with these pillars, and they will all be pointing inwards because well, that's physics for you. Again, you can look at that video. So without any further ado, let's dive into the computer and have a post-processing video, shall we? So I have, again, as I said, I have three images. One is called O, which is oxygen. one is called H, which is hydrogen, and one is called S, which is sulfur. Now, for those of you that know this program that I'm working on right now, it's called, well, you know what it's called, but those of you that don't know what it is, it's called PixInsight. And I see a lot of people having a lot of these processing icons in this area here. To me, I kind of like to keep it simple. I don't like to overcomplicate things. I usually don't need much more than this, and afterwards I just jump into Photoshop and do my final adjustments. I believe that most people do, or a lot of people that have a lot of icons here are doing the adjustments here. For me, it's easier in Photoshop. I kind of like it more. So first off, let's just arrange the images just like next to each other so we can have a look at them all at the same time. So I'm just going to nuke all of them and make a quick ugly stretch. I mean, you can see that all of the data is in the black, pushed towards the black side. That means that I have to stretch these images. I mean, I have to spread out the data across the histogram. So I can do that quick and dirty by just pushing this nuke button here. And you can see the oxygen data coming up. And there's the hydrogen data, and that is the sulfur data. So yeah, it looks like they're already cropped at this point, so I don't have to do that. But what I would have to do, I think, no, I don't have to do that either. I usually just do the cropping here, and then sometimes I do some Graxpert if needed. I do blur extermination. I do noise extermination, and when I'm done with that, I end up in this state here. I can see that the noise is already gone here, and the stars are pretty sharp, so I have done blur extermination as well. So I have already done all of these steps here to just prepare everything. So what's left here now is to do the general hyperbolic stretch, meaning it's time to stretch out all of the data. And then I can do pixel math to create the combination of images here. And then I do some narrowband normalization, and these ones are for color images, or my one-shot color camera, which is not this camera. So let's just revert all of these nukes here, reset them, and go to the maybe oxygen data and start stretching. Now, first off, what I do is set the black point. So I'm just going to go to the logarithmic view and just go to linear here and set to black point and apply. And then I'm done with that one, and I just do that for all three images at the same time. So I don't have to kinda do it all over again. So this is not that important. It's just for me to have like a good starting point with the black point. So I'm just putting the data as far to the left as I can, and then I just do like, yeah, the stretching. So this is where the data is now extremely zoomed in for the oxygen, and I just put the stretch point somewhere in the middle in the beginning, and go to preview mode so I can see what's happening in real time. And then I just kind of do a big stretch like this, and there you have your data. But this is not a good way of doing GHS, or general hyperbolic stretch. So I usually just start with like 1.1 and 0.35 here in the beginning, and I just do small incremental steps. And at this point, I'm looking more on the stars than I'm doing at the nebula itself. So this is a good area, and then I just go back to the linear here and then push the data back towards the blacks. So I can do yet another stretch here, and again around 1 and 0.35, 0.350 here. And I think I'm pretty happy with the stars at this point. I don't want much, I don't want any more stars right now. So let's try it like that, and then I need to do the same for the hydrogen data. Go to like zoom in 1. Well, this is a bit weird. Why is it doing that? Let's put it in the center and stretch it and see why it behaves like that. I guess a lot of cool data is doing that. So 0.35, and then I just stretch it out to somewhere around there. Go back to linear, set to black point and apply. So let's have a look at the stars. They look pretty same here, so that's enough for the hydrogen. And then the sulfur data looks better. Stretch point, just do a quick one here and have a look at it. Ooh la la, look at the sulfur. And as I said, I mean, these are the newly formed stars here, and they are pushing the gas, the surrounding gas, from away from them, creating these very specific bubbles. And just on the edge of these bubbles you have your pillars coming out here in sulfur and hydrogen, while the oxygen stays in the center. But yeah, let's just have a look at the curve here. 1.06 and 135. Now mind you that the stars are more bloated in sulfur than they are in other in the other channels or the other filters, so you kind of have to be a little bit careful on how much you push your sulfur data, because that's how you get these very specific purple stars in the HSO palette. So let's have a look at the stars here. Yeah, they could be stretched just a tiny bit more, but not that much. Let's just do a little bit of stretching. One more. All right, there we are. Okay, so now I am happy with the stars. So I'm just going to do a star extermination on each and every one of these images and save the stars for later use. This takes a little bit of time, but not that much. Let's take a break. Okay, 1, 2, 3, drag, 1, 2, 3, drag, 1, 2, 3, drag, 1, 2, 3, drag. Okay, so I have my stars here, and I'm just putting them out. These ones are the oxygen stars, and I have my hydrogen, my sulfur, and my oxygen stars here, and I'm just going to put them down here for later use. I don't need them right now. And you can see 3 starless images: the oxygen, the hydrogen, and the sulfur. And now I have more space to actually push the data a little bit more. So I'm just going to go to the oxygen again, set the stretch point to somewhere in the middle, and then start pushing the data. Now you can clearly see my borderline area here, how dirty the data is. I mean, you have a lot of weird stuff going on in the edges, which is of course also some cropping artifacts, but if you look at the center here, you can see that it doesn't look good, and that is because I live in a highly light polluted area, and oxygen 3 is very much prone to light pollution. That filter is in the middle of everything, that color, like that, all of the street lamps. So I'm very mindful with how much I push this data, honestly. I still would like the background to be dark, and I'm just going to push the data back all the time as much as I can, so I don't overdo it. And somewhere around here, I think I can also click on a specific area to target the specific like place of the histogram that I want to bring out more data from. And this one's like these gases around here, I would like to see them a little bit more, so I can just push the data in that area a wee bit more without overdoing it too much. So now I am, you can see, more careful, and I think one more time should do it, and then I am pretty happy with this. Maybe just push it back a little bit more. So there is more data to bring out, but I don't want to do it at this point. So I'm happy with the oxygen, and now I'm looking a lot at the background as well. I kind of want the darks to be identical. I know it's hard, I can do it better later on, but at least this, if I just think about it a little bit, to keep the same background color, if you want, and the same background nuance. Well, I can see the background a little bit here. So let's just push this to look at the hydrogen. I mean, it's incredible how much data I can get out from this. This is a borderline area, so this is extremely cool. And now I can see that the bright areas are getting a little bit too bright, so I'm actually going to try and protect those brighter areas a little bit by using this protect highlights slide on GHS, which is very cool. So I am going to be happy around here. Actually, I'm just pushing it back a little bit more. So, and then just target like the fainter areas here to just bring them out a little bit as well. No, these ones I want to take out a little bit more of the darker areas because I want the blacks to match better, actually. So let's just do something like that, and then again protect the highlights so I don't blow them out like so. This is good. This is good enough for the hydrogen, and it's really cool. I mean, look at this. Look at these areas. How cool are these pillars? You can see the gas here. This is purely hydrogen glowing, and there are a lot of stars inside here, newborn stars or stars being born, planetary systems being created. And here there's something here as well, I have no idea what it can be, but you have a lot of things here. So there's a lot of cool stuff to discover when you do this. It's just not, it isn't just an image, it's also discovering stuff or exploring more. In lack of better words, exploring is better. All right, enough of that. Sulfur, same thing, stretch point somewhere in the middle, and just start stretching it a little bit here. 2 steps here is good. Sulfur is easier to stretch. Now what's happening here? Let's go set it to linear and push the data back. Apply, go back from linear, and yeah, maybe somewhere around here we can stretch it out a little bit more. Something like this is good enough. And also I have, again, I need to protect the highlights a little bit. Like so is good enough. No, one more time. So you can see that I'm actually putting a lot of effort into the stretching part of the post-processing. I mean, the stretching is the most important part in my opinion. That's where you create your image. That's how much data you kind of push out, and how much data you want to bring out without destroying your image too much. So this is good enough. All right, so now I am happy with the stretch I have done on all the 3 images, and you can see that they are pretty cool. So let's go to pixel math and just combine this. So in the red channel, I have the S image, the sulfur. In the green channel, I have the hydrogen, and in the blue channel, I have the oxygen. I will create a new image, and I will have it as an RGB image. And there you have it, an SHO image of the Sol Nebula. With this, I mean, even at this point, this is a very good image. I am very happy with the results. It looks a lot like a Hubble Space Telescope image. And all I need to do here is just put the stars back and I'm done. Look at this area. How cool isn't this area here? Look at this. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, there's just so much to explore, but I'm not done yet. I'm going to normalize this a little bit and maybe even stretch it out a little bit more. Let's see what happens when I try to stretch this image out a little bit more. And this is just me testing here. I usually don't do that, but I just want to see what's happening. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's just push the data just a wee bit more and protect the highlights and just bring out a little bit more of this goodness, niceness. All right, that is it. This is good enough. Very good enough. Very much good enough. Yes. All right. Now we have this image, and let's just normalize this, shall we? So we can adjust the colors to get more contrast and not have the green hydrogen, which is the abundant gas, being so dominant in this image, and let the oxygen show better. So narrowband normalization, this is an SHO palette, and I like the lightness is usually something different on every image. In HSO, I kind of feel that preserve or off is the better options. In HOO, where I just show hydrogen and oxygen, I think that H alpha is the better lightness. We can do an HOO image of this as well, just for the fun of it. SCNR is the one that brings out the oxygen more, and reduces the hydrogen, making the image more blue, as you can see here. And I see a lot of people just pushing that towards the end. I personally don't like that. I feel that it becomes a bit too much. But somewhere around here, and then just boost the O3 because I didn't stretch it enough. I can still boost it. Sulfur, really don't like to boost it too much, but maybe just a little bit, why not? And apply. So here we are. This is the image after network normalization. Let's do the same thing for the HOO image. We will go to narrowband normalization and let's just preview. And as I said before, the lightness probably H alpha here. I don't like mode 1, I want mode 2. And again, we do preserve here, not much happened. We go to H alpha and boom, you will have much more details. Blending, I don't like that much. I usually keep it down a little bit, but the O3 I can definitely boost because I didn't stretch it hard enough, and I can do it here a little bit, just boosting it. And apply. This is good enough. And let's just, whoa, what happened? Yeah. Let's just close that one. And we will have an HOO image here. Look at this. And an SHO image here. This one contains more data, but this one looks a little bit more like it would look like for the naked eye. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to take the H stars and save them as a TIFF file. The same with the HOO and the SHO. And I will move myself to Photoshop and edit them there a little bit more, do the final adjustments there. Okay, so now we are in Photoshop and we have the HOO image here together with the hydrogen stars, and we have the SHO image here with the hydrogen stars as well. So what I usually do is that I just use the camera raw plugin or functionality. I don't know exactly what this is called, but if you look at what I usually do, I just push up the contrast a little bit. Highlights and shadows I usually don't touch that much. Whites is more something for the entire image. It just brings out the details in the entire image. I usually push that a little bit towards the bright side. Color, of course, I love, so I do add a bit more vibrance to the colors, and in this case I would like to have them a little bit more towards the blue side on the histogram. That must have been a little bit too much, just to create the nice contrast of the yellowish red things, the gases, and then maybe a little bit of dehaze depending on how the background looks. If I wanted to darken out the background, I usually do a lot of dehaze, or some dehaze. This one didn't need that much. And of course I have all of these magenta kind of artifacts that I don't like, so I'm just going to bring down the luminance and the saturation of those so I don't have to deal with them too much. I will probably crop them out anyways as well. So this is the before and this is the after. I just make the image pop a little bit more. And then just go to the stars layer, make it screen blending mode, and there you have it. Your final SHO image, in this case with hydrogen stars to make the video a little bit shorter. And then we just start exploring. What are we looking at? I mean, what do we have here? Look at these pillars over here. Very cool. And then you have, of course, this area here with yeah, such cool area here. I mean, yeah, it's just such a privilege to just browse the image that you just taken and see what you got. I mean, there's appears to be some kind of reflection stuff going on here, and these small things, who knows what they are. Some kind of star forming areas, and then you have your dust clouds in the foreground blocking out the background light here, and then of course a lot of these things here, and then look at these pillars here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is just so cool. Oh, there you have something as well. Well, yeah, well, it's always something to look at, and of course this image is 9200 times 6200 pixels, large or big, so it's definitely room to crop. There's definitely room to crop here. But yeah, this is probably not a fully finished image for me. I think it's a little bit on the dark side for me to be happy with it, but this is the basic process that I use, and it's good enough to create pretty decent images just by doing this. I mean, how long has this video been? 10-15 minutes. Let's go to the HOO as well, just for the fun of it, and again go to the camera raw and increase the contrast a little bit. Here maybe the whites a bit, maybe just do something with the shadows for the background, because it's too black. Again here, let's go towards the blue side a little bit more, increase the saturation, the vibrance, sorry, and then some saturation, maybe a little bit of dehaze as well here. Yeah, good enough. Let's say, look at the before and after, before and after, just making it pop a little bit more. And then the stars, screen layer, screen mode, screen blending mode even. And then we can just look at the same areas like we did in the SHO image, just to explore. I really like how things look like they shoot out here. And then this area looks very dynamic, very rich, very cool. And of course we had something here on this area here. It doesn't pop up as much as the other image with more data, but they are there. And then of course these pillars here. And then we had something that looked pretty cool on the other image here, but it doesn't pop up that much over here. Yeah, so HOO and SHO, two completely different images, although the data is basically the same. So yeah, again, disclaimer, not very happy with the results, but they are good enough for this video. I will probably be pushing and pulling the sliders a little bit more, and maybe a little bit more less as well in real life, but for the sake of this video I think this is good enough. So I really hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you did, do give it a like. And if you want to see more of my videos, astrophotography, astronomy, and yeah, my adventures and photographs and learnings from my inner city area, do subscribe. And if you have any suggestions or thoughts, don't forget to leave me a comment in this video, and I see you next time. All right, goodbye for now.